Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Elspeth Tremblay, the painting healer, and today I'm going to be working on a very special portrait. As always, they're all special. This one is a personal favorite of mine when I was in film school. This is the revered visionary artist, musician, actor, and filmmaker David Lynch. I don't know a lot about his personal life. I loved his films, but I didn't really delve too much into learning too much about him in preparation for today. What I'm most interested in is tapping into his energy, and I know that he crossed the other side this year, January 16th, 2025. And I'm interested in learning about whatever he wants to share. So I'm just gonna start by selecting a photo, and I'll start working from the photo, and as I start painting, hopefully I'll start hearing from him. Otherwise, we're just gonna study his face for a bit. And I think that'll be interesting, to say the least. All right, tell me in the comments below what your favorite film of his is. And without further ado, let's get started. Get some brand new glasses for this project. See you on the page. All right, welcome to the page. I've got a black candle burning. This is called Midsummer's Night. I think this is perfect for David Lynch. And of course, immediately I feel like lighting up a cigarette, which I don't smoke, so that's not happening. I've picked this old palette to start with because immediately I started getting visions of David as a young boy in the 50s. Okay, so I'm going to start with purple. Yeah, so I'm seeing David on his bike in the 50s, wearing a button-down shirt. It's plaid, it's like pale green. He's wearing shorts, leather shoes. They feel like they're red leather or sort of brown, really brown, but he's got those same beautiful almond eyes, and he has, you know, one of the generic little haircuts that all the boys had at the time. And I'm seeing that as a really pivotal time. He is about 7. And even then, he is very aware of this sort of other world. He's very spiritually in tune at that age. And he feels really connected when he's on his bike, free to roam around the neighborhood. Back then, parents were a lot more trusting. As long as you were back by sundown for dinner, you could get into all sorts of mischief. And the neighbors knew each other. Call across the street. There were kids in the neighborhood. And he was one of the more delicate kids. I mean, he was well liked, but there was nothing he was not a brute in any sense. And I think like his dad might have been a bit worried that he was too effeminate. I'm picking up pineapple, like tin pineapple. Still in that summertime 50s era. As I work around his eyebrows and his lines, there's a little bit of a punk nature, like what? A little bit of a on the defense. I think that's from his time in Philly. I know he went to art school there, but dropped out. I think that might have been where Eraserhead or Elephant Man was filmed. Okay, I'm getting 18. That's a very pivotal year. This is when I'm picking up nightmares and more tuning into the darkness and his own parameters, feeling out the negative space around him to sort of carve a line around who he is by feeling the boundaries around him, like pushing himself to a couple of limits. Alcohol certainly put him in that space. He always felt part of the other world, like one foot in that world, one foot in this world. And by pointing out the banality of this world, the everyday world, he could link them up. And it was his way of connecting people to each other. By showing the absurdness. Oh, I just got Duchamp. He loved Duchamp. Le Pissoir. By examining the absurdity, because in the 50s you were sort of fed a lot of information from Hollywood and the government, and just sort of told, especially as a kid, to take it at face value and not ask questions. And he felt like that's where the questions were. I don't know if that was a complete sentence. I'm picking up Buddhism as a gateway to what he later discovered as his jam. That's not his word. I know he was a very spiritual man and found solace in meditation. And I'm getting a strong sense of serenity about him. He may have had struggled in his earlier years, especially with romance. There was such an ethereal quality about falling in love that he just adored. And the culture of romance and the other, it's like a portal for allowing yourself to inhabit the space of someone else and tune into someone else's life and sort of lose yourself in their story. He loved love. He loved falling in love. In a way, it was a form of escapism. Falling in love with Isabella Rossellini was as cinematic as you can imagine. It really was so beautiful, so opulent, so extraordinary, majestic. But he doesn't stay still. Just like the difference between a photograph and a film, he is many, many still photographs moving and evolving. And their differences weren't sustainable, but they maintained a deep love and respect for one another. They were creative soulmates as well. But that time that they shared together as lovers was as magical as you would assume it would be. And Isabella just adored him. Really adored him. He felt like he couldn't really live up to what she was hoping for. In many ways, he still needed his solace, and part of falling in love with someone was escaping yourself, and it was like going inside a film. And at one point he felt like a character in the film, and he wanted to be behind the camera. I hope that I'm explaining this. But she had an idea for a film in her head, so to speak, of their love affair and their long-lasting life together. But he saw it more as He lost himself a bit, and he felt like he couldn't maintain his creative focus when the mundane and the reality of mundane living, he would want to escape to his solitude in a way that made her feel a bit stonewalled. And of course he didn't want to hurt her, and this was just a part that they couldn't completely align on. Alright, I can't wait to paint Isabella Rossellini soon as well. I feel like they will make good companions on the page. Alright, pausing for a sip of coffee. I feel like he needs his black coffee and his cigarettes. So as you can see, he's coming through quite effortlessly. I think he's quite interested in this project, and since I I think that he's quite interested in what people are doing still. He's an artist of many different mediums, and he hasn't stopped creating. It was sort of like when his body started being able to move at the speed that his mind was still moving. He accepted that it was time to graduate to the next progression in his journey. He's very active. I'm seeing mountains. He is so happy to shake off the heaviness and the weight of this world. And to be able to stand back and take a look, like an artist does with the painting. Take a step back and look at his life with fresh eyes. He has such a gentleness to his heart, really pure heart. I'm getting the word befuddled. Sometimes his thoughts and his thought process was a little befuddled. And that's why expressing himself and his ideas through images and moods. He loved to create moods. And he loved that it was a group experience of his work, not just in a whitewashed gallery with sanitized walls. And he loved that everyone was sort of suspending their disbelief together in a room, and that was a communal event, like they were all experiencing a nightmare together. I'm wearing a Dolly Parton t-shirt, and I'm reminded of when I went to see her in concert 10 years ago in Toronto, and she was about to play a sad song. She said, "This is a very sad song about a robin." It was about a bird or something. It was, not sure what happened, but it was going to be sad. And she said, "But it's a beautiful song and we're going to put you through it." And I loved the way that she insisted that we're all going to be put through this momentary discomfort of a sad song. And what David Lynch was trying to explore was the collective pain body, the collective unconscious, the dream state and in our waking life, and to bring awareness to the ridiculous. There are so many sort of sleepwalkers in the world, and fabrication and beauty and truth is all so easily distorted. And that all roads really lead back to yourself and your own level of consciousness. Alright, this is going to be on the shorter side. I feel like he is succinct and just wanted to leave a small impression, and this is part of his new exploration, is popping in and still seeing people, but coming through in different ways. So I feel very fortunate that he joined us today on the page. he's with his daughter a lot. And he has a little bit of tidying up to do with his daughter. But she knows how fiercely he adored her. But he's ever present with her. Also seeing plants. He loved plants. I wonder who has his plants now. Yeah. There was something ethereal about potted plants that he had, that maybe they were in his meditation space. Philanthropy and teaching young people how to tune into themselves became more important towards the end of his life. And he doesn't want to be known for just being weird. It took a lot of integrity for him to stay true to himself. He passed up opportunities when he was younger. But he had a strong feeling that his intuition would pay off to focus on his artistic pursuits, because he knew he was bringing people together with the unconscious and the dream state. And he wanted to draw people's attention from a point of glamour and power, from that vantage point, into bring them right into the dark shadows of themselves. He felt very accomplished with the work that he achieved. He knows that he was able to really move people, and especially men. He knows that he was able to reach men and to guide them through a sense of communion with their spiritual side in the veil of something kind of cool and hip. And he was very hip. He was himself, but he had strong resonance with cultural references. He loved history. He was very spiritual, and he could feel, I think he was also very sentient. He could feel the energy of objects and places. Yeah. All right, I hope you can see him. Oh, I'm gonna let him dry, and then I might accentuate a couple of details in his eyes and his hair, just to give him a little bit of shine and polish. But I'm gonna leave it nice and loose, almost a little smoky. Let me see if I can find a nice get my secret weapons out here. I'm gonna get some Indian ink and some maroon. And I'm just gonna punctuate him while the water is still flowing and quite lucid. There we go. Let's go in for a couple of hits. We got my... There's something about this maroon. It's the way that it sets. It has just a beautiful luminous quality even after it dries. I'm just going to try and get in here without smudging too much, blooding too much. Okay. Okay. Yeah. If you are interested in purchasing any of my celebrity portraits, I have them available on my Etsy store. And feel free to, you can make requests. But if one of these speaks to you, then maybe this is the energy you need to be on your wall as a reminder. For something that they represent for you, to have that in your space. Oh yeah, so proud of his hair too. It was sort of an emblem. Here I am, I've arrived. All right. Quick and dirty. I'm going to dedicate this painting to my dear friend Ben, who actually met David Lynch 20 years ago at the Cannes Film Festival when his short film was accepted into the festival. That was such an exciting time. And there was a gorgeous photo of Ben and David standing together in their suits. Wow, his eyes are really beautiful and clear. Beautiful. All right, when this dries, I'm going to tidy it up and put the final version on my Instagram and on Etsy. And in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.